The Locky Trinity came through for us last week as Jamal Pogues, Myra Bueno Silva, and Clayton Carpenter all got the job done for us. So shout out to those three fighters and shout out to anybody that tailed on the parlay. Obviously, I have another one for you guys this weekend for UFC Vegas 70. But first, I want to remind you guys to hit that like and subscribe below if you guys are enjoying the content. And if you guys are looking for breakdowns on the UFC, Bellator, PFL, Cage Warriors, which goes down next week, LFA, CFFC, and Fury FC, I got you covered on the Patreon. Link in the description below. I promise you guys will not be disappointed. All right, let's get right into this Locky Trinity for UFC Vegas 70. The first leg is going to be the UFC debutant and 8-0 Nurilo Aliyev. Although he is only 8-0 in his professional MMA career, I love what I see from the kid. Relentless takedown game, good wrestling, and has the ability to keep that pace up for 15 minutes if he needs to. He's going up against Rafael Alves, who's a very energetic and explosive fighter early on fights, but I believe that Aliyev is prepared enough to avoid that big power, avoid that nasty guillotine choke, and slowly start to suck dry the energy reserves of Alves, and he'll be able to slow him down, start to take over the later that this fight goes, and I believe he'll get his hand raised by decision. There's your first leg of the Locky Trinity. Second leg is going to be what Mr. Charles Johnson. He's going up against Ode Osborne this weekend, and even though Johnson is coming in on short notice, I believe his technical striking, combinations, and footwork is going to be too much for the still relatively raw Ode Osborne. A lot of people had high expectations for Osborne, but I believe the majority of his skill set, or actually the majority of his success, has come from his physical attributes, mainly his length and his speed, which is very helpful for him in the early going of fights. But we've seen in a couple fights now, especially in the Tyson Nam one, where the shortcomings of the technical aspects of his game have produced a downfall of some of his fights, where he's gotten knocked out and finished by some of his opponents. But even in the win against CJ Vergara, we see as fights start to go deeper, he starts to slow down, and that's where I think that Charles Johnson can really start to pull away with this fight. I believe it's going to be close in the early goings, but as long as Johnson can stay away from that early finishing upside of Ode Osborne, Charles will start to rack up on the output, rack up on the striking numbers, and I think he's going to be able to pull away and win this fight via decision. The last leg, a little bit chalky. I don't normally like putting in big favorites into parlays, especially the zone that Tatiana Suarez is in, but I really believe that she is the next champion in the flyweight or strawweight division, depending on where she wants to go after this fight. But I really think that she is one of the best fighters currently on this roster, and even though she's coming off a lengthy layoff, she is too bad of a matchup for Montana De La Rosa. We've never seen this level of grappling in the women's MMA division, especially with the dominance in which Tatiana Suarez does it with. Within 5 fights of being in the strawweight division, she holds plenty of records, and she's landed, I believe, 23 takedowns in 5 fights. She's very difficult to deal with. She's very strong from that top position, and I believe that Montana De La Rosa is a very, very, very poor women's version of Tatiana Suarez. So even though that she's very chalky, I believe she's a free square here. If you want to throw her inside the distance to get the line a little bit better, go for it. But this is one of those very rare times where I'll be fine with somebody throwing a minus 800 into a parlay, as I believe that Suarez is kind of a free square in this spot. So there you guys go. We got the Locky Trinity going down with Nurilo Aliyev, Charles Johnson, and Tatiana Suarez. You can get that right now on DraftKings at plus 190. Good luck on your bets, and good luck on the Locky Trinity. I'll see you guys again tomorrow for the Bellator full card breakdown. I was supposed to drop that today, but 18 fights is taking me a lot longer to get through than I expected, as well as the 3 best prop bets for UFC Vegas 70, both dropping tomorrow. See you guys then. Peace.